What if a tiny Lincoln penny in your pocket could be worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars? Welcome to USA Old Coins X. Today, we uncover rare Lincoln cents, hidden treasures, and secrets that most collectors miss. Stay tuned, because every detail could change your coin collection forever. Top 1. Imagine holding a simple 1-cent coin, dated 1961. Most people would toss it into a jar without a second thought. But what if that small copper coin was secretly worth a life-changing fortune? The 1961 Lincoln cent is part of one of the most iconic coin series in American history, the Lincoln wheat penny design that collectors have loved for generations. Magnifying glass tilted right. Basic coin information. Country: United States of America. Year: 1961. Denomination: 1 cent. Designer: Victor David Brenner. Obverse: Portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Reverse: Lincoln Memorial. Design composition: 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight: 3.11 grams. Diameter: 19 millimeters. Mint marks: no mint mark, Philadelphia, and D. Denver. Gemstone. Why could it be so valuable? Most 1961 pennies are common. Millions were minted in Philadelphia and Denver. In circulated condition, they are usually worth only a few cents, but here's where things get interesting. Some 1961 Lincoln cents exist in exceptional mint state condition, graded MS 67 plus or higher. Others may feature rare mint errors, such as double die varieties, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks. Major die cracks. Collectors pay serious money for flawless, high-grade coins or dramatic mint errors. Condition is everything. A bright red, fully original copper coin with perfect luster can multiply in value dramatically. Trophy. The record price. A rare, extremely high-grade example of the 1961 Lincoln cent has reached a market value of $245,000. That price applies only to the rarest, highest quality specimens, not average circulated coins. Most 1961 pennies you find in change are worth only a few cents to a few dollars. Warning: important tip if you find a 1961 penny. 1. Check the mint mark below the date. 2. Examine the condition, look for strong shine and no scratches. 3. Inspect for doubling or unusual features. 4. Consider professional grading if it looks nearly perfect. You never know, that small copper coin sitting quietly in a jar could be something extraordinary. Top 2. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a simple penny dated 1964 with a small d under the year. Most people would never look twice. It's just 1 cent, right? But what if that tiny copper coin could be worth a fortune? What if the difference between 1 cent and a life-changing payday was hidden in its shine, its strike, or a microscopic detail most people never notice? The 1964 D Lincoln cent is part of one of America's most famous coin series. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design that defined U.S. pennies for decades. While millions of these coins were struck at the Denver Mint, not all 1964 D pennies are created equal. Magnifying glass tilted right. Coin specifications. Country: United States of America. Year: 1964. Mint mark: D. Denver. Denomination: 1 cent. Composition: 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight: 3.11 grams. Diameter: 19 millimeters. Edge: plain. At first glance, nothing seems extraordinary. Production numbers were massive. In fact, the Denver Mint produced over 3 billion of these coins. That means most 1964 D pennies you find today are common and worth only a few cents. So where does the value come from? Gemstone. Condition is everything. The secret lies in condition and rarity within condition. Coins graded MS 67 red or higher, meaning fully original red copper color with nearly flawless surfaces, are incredibly rare. Most coins from 1964 entered circulation and developed spots, scratches, or dull surfaces over time. Finding one preserved in pristine condition is extremely difficult. Collectors compete fiercely for top population examples. When a coin sits at the very top of the grading scale, its value can skyrocket beyond imagination. Warning: rare errors and varieties. Some 1964 D Lincoln cents also feature rare mint errors, including repunched mint marks, strong doubling off-center strikes, die cracks, or cuts. These minting mistakes turn an ordinary coin into something unique, and uniqueness drives demand. Trophy the high-end value. While most 1964D pennies are worth face value, an ultra-rare, superbly preserved example has reached an astonishing market value of $235,000. That price applies only to the rarest, highest-graded specimens or exceptional error coins, not standard circulated pieces. Magnifying glass tilted left. What should you check if you own a 1964D penny? 1. Examine the mint mark closely. 2. Look for strong original red color. 3. Check for doubling or unusual features. 4. Consider professional grading. If the coin appears nearly perfect, sometimes the smallest coin in your collection can hold the biggest surprise. A single cent, overlooked for decades, could quietly be worth a fortune. Top 3. At first glance, a 1968D Lincoln penny looks completely ordinary. It's small. It's copper. It carries a tiny D mint mark beneath the date. Millions of Americans have handled one without ever thinking twice. But what if one of those pennies, sitting quietly in a jar or tucked inside an old collection, could be worth an astonishing fortune? The 1968D Lincoln cent continues the legendary design created by Victor David Brenner, featuring the dignified portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of American history and strength. While this design was common for decades, rarity is never about the design alone. It's about condition, precision, and survival. Magnifying glass tilted right. Coin specifications. Country: United States of America. Year: 1968. Mint mark: D, Denver. Denomination: 1 cent. Composition: 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Weight: 3.11 grams. Diameter: 19 millimeters. Edge: plain. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins. That means most 1968D pennies are common and typically worth only face value in circulated condition. Oh, how can one be worth so much? Gemstone: the secret is in the grade. The key lies in ultra-high mint state preservation. Coins graded MS67 plus red or higher, meaning full original red color, blazing luster, and nearly flawless surfaces, are incredibly rare. Copper is a reactive metal. Over time, it darkens, spots, or develops imperfections. Finding a 1968D penny that has survived in perfect red condition for decades is extremely difficult. When a coin ranks at the very top of population reports, meaning only a few exist in that grade, collectors compete aggressively. Scarcity at the highest level drives dramatic price increases. Warning: rare errors and special varieties. Certain 1968D pennies also show collectible varieties such as strong strike, doubling, die cracks, off-center strikes, exceptional proof-like surfaces. These factors can dramatically increase collector interest and market value. Trophy: the remarkable value. While the vast majority of 1968D Lincoln cents are worth just 1 cent, a superbly preserved, top-graded example has reached an incredible value of $210,000. That price applies only to the rarest, finest known specimens, not average circulated coins. Magnifying glass tilted left. What should you look for if you find a 1968D penny? 1. Check the mint mark carefully. 2. Look for bright, original red color. 3. Examine the surfaces for minimal marks. 4. Consider professional grading. If the coin appears nearly perfect, sometimes the smallest coin in your collection carries the biggest surprise. A single copper cent, overlooked for years, might quietly hold extraordinary value. Top 4. What if I told you that a penny from 1975, a year many people barely think about, could quietly be worth a fortune? The 1975D Lincoln cent may look like just another copper coin, but under the right conditions, it becomes something far more exciting. Hidden inside its tiny details could be a story of rarity, preservation, and extraordinary value. The 1975D penny continues the historic Lincoln Memorial design created by Victor David Brenner. On the obverse, we see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design first introduced in 1909. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of American heritage that defined the cent for decades. Magnifying glass tilted right coin specifications country, United States of America year, 1975 mint mark, D, Denver, denomination, 1 cent composition, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc weight, 3.11 grams diameter, 19 millimeters edge, plain. The Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of 1975 D pennies. Because of that, most examples found in circulation today are common and worth only 1 cent. So why would one ever be worth thousands, or even more? Gemstone rarity within condition. The answer lies in condition and survival. Copper coins are extremely sensitive. They tone, darken, and develop spots over time. Finding a 1975 D penny with blazing original red color, sharp strike, and almost flawless surfaces is incredibly difficult. Coins graded MS67 plus red or higher are exceptionally rare. At the very top of the grading scale, population numbers drop dramatically. When only a few examples exist in that grade, collectors compete intensely, and prices can surge. Warning: special varieties and errors. Some 1975 D Lincoln cents also display collectible mint errors, including strong doubling die cracks, off-center strikes, unusual die polishing lines. These features make certain coins unique, and uniqueness drives demand in the collector market. Trophy: the exceptional value. While the vast majority of 1975 D pennies are worth face value, an ultra-high grade, pristine example has achieved a market value of $175,000. This valuation applies only to the rarest, finest known specimens, not average circulated coins. Magnifying glass tilted left. What should you look for? If you own a 1975 D penny, 1. Check for strong original red color. 2. Examine the mint mark carefully. 3. Look for doubling or unusual strike characteristics. 4. Consider professional grading if the coin appears nearly perfect. Sometimes, the smallest coin in your collection carries the biggest surprise. A simple penny from 1975 might be far more valuable than it appears at first glance. Top 5. It's hard to believe that a penny from 1978 could be worth more than a luxury house. Yet the 1978 D Lincoln cent proves that even the most ordinary-looking coin can hide extraordinary potential. With its small D mint mark beneath the date and its familiar copper shine, this coin has passed through millions of hands. But under the right conditions, it becomes something collectors dream about. The design remains the iconic work of Victor David Brenner, featuring the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design that defined American cents for decades before being replaced in later years. While billions of Lincoln cents were produced, rarity is never about total mintage alone, it's about how many survive in flawless condition. Magnifying glass tilted right coin specifications country, United States of America year, 1978 mint mark, D, Denver, denomination, 1 cent composition, 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc weight, 3.11 grams diameter, 19 millimeters edge, plain. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of 1978 D pennies. Because of that, most examples you'll find in circulation today are worth only 1 cent. So how does one become worth a fortune? Gemstone: the importance of preservation. Copper coins are extremely sensitive to environmental changes. Over time, they darken, tone, or develop spots. Finding a 1978 D penny with blazing red color, strong luster, and virtually no marks is incredibly rare. Coins graded MS67 plus red or higher are scarce at the top of grading population reports. When only a few coins exist at that elite level, collectors compete intensely. That competition can drive prices to astonishing heights. Warning: error coins and special varieties. Some 1978 D Lincoln cents also attract attention due to noticeable doubling die cracks, off-center strikes, exceptional strike quality. While most coins are ordinary, rare varieties create excitement in the numismatic market. Trophy: the high-end value. The vast majority of 1978 D pennies are worth face value. However, a superbly preserved, top-graded example has reached a market value of $160,000. This price applies only to the rarest, highest quality specimens, not typical circulated coins. Magnifying glass tilted left. What should you check? If you have a 1978 D penny, 1. Inspect the mint mark carefully. 2. Look for bright, original red color. 3. Examine the surfaces for minimal marks. 4. Consider professional grading if it appears nearly flawless. Sometimes, the smallest coin in your collection can hold the biggest surprise. A single cent from 1978 might be worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 6. In 1978, the United States Mint released millions of pennies into circulation, and most people never imagined that one simple 1978 Lincoln 1-cent penny could one day become a collector's dream. At first glance, it looks like any ordinary coin, small, copper-colored, and humble. But hidden within certain rare conditions, mint states, and possible error varieties, this coin can turn into a true treasure. Today, we are uncovering the mystery behind the 1978 Lincoln cent and why collectors are willing to pay extraordinary money for the finest examples. The 1978 Lincoln penny features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, originally designed by Victor D. Brenner. His initials, VDB, can be found subtly on the coin. The reverse displays the classic wheat-free design known as the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, which was used from 1959 until 2008. Inside the memorial, if you look closely, you can even see a tiny representation of Lincoln's statue, a remarkable detail for such a small coin. This coin was struck in a copper alloy composition consisting of 95% copper and 5% zinc. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. In 1978, the penny was minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, and San Francisco, S mint mark for proof coins. While billions were produced, the value depends heavily on condition. Most circulated examples are only worth face value, but the highest graded uncirculated coins are a completely different story. The real excitement begins when we talk about condition rarity. Coins graded in extremely high mint state levels, such as MS-67 or above, become incredibly scarce. When a coin survives decades without scratches, dullness, or wear, collectors compete aggressively to own it. Even the slightest mark can lower the grade, making flawless examples rare and valuable. Another factor that can increase value dramatically is the presence of mint errors. Off-center strikes, double die varieties, or dramatic planchet errors can transform an ordinary penny into a headline-worthy collectible. Error coins capture attention because they are unexpected and unique, and rarity always drives demand in the numismatic market. The 1978 Lincoln cent represents the end of an era in American coinage before major composition changes came in the early 1980s. It carries historical significance, nostalgic appeal, and strong collector demand in top condition. That combination is powerful. When supply is low and high grade and demand is high among collectors, prices can climb to astonishing levels. One extraordinary example of a perfectly preserved 1978 Lincoln penny shocked the collecting world when it reached an estimated value of $250,000. Yes, a 1-cent coin potentially worth a life-changing amount of money. Imagine finding such a coin in an old collection, coin roll, or inherited jar of pennies. That possibility is what keeps collectors searching every single day. If you own a 1978 Lincoln 1-cent penny, do not ignore it. Examine the mint mark, check the condition carefully, and look for any unusual characteristics. Even a small detail can make a massive difference in value. And remember, sometimes the most ordinary-looking coin can hold an extraordinary secret. The value of this rare 1978 Lincoln 1-cent penny can reach $250,000. If you have this coin or any other rare pennies in your collection, comment below and tell us what you own so we can help you learn more about them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more rare coin stories, like this video, and share it with fellow collectors. Top 7. In 1981, something very important was about to change in American coin history. The United States Mint was preparing to shift the composition of the Lincoln penny forever. But before that major transformation happened in 1982, the 1981 Lincoln 1-cent penny quietly entered circulation, a coin that most people ignored, spent, or tossed into jars without a second thought. Yet today, collectors carefully study this coin, because under the right conditions, it can become an extraordinary treasure. The 1981 Lincoln cent carries the familiar and beloved portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design created by Victor D. Brenner in 1909. On the reverse, we see the historic Lincoln Memorial design, introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely between the memorial columns, you can even see a tiny image of Lincoln's seated statue, a remarkable detail for such a small coin. This coin was struck in a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, making it one of the last full copper issues before the transition to copper-plated zinc in 1982. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. The 1981 penny was minted in Philadelphia, No mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, and San Francisco, S mint mark for proof coins. While millions were produced, not all survived in pristine condition. The real value of the 1981 Lincoln penny depends heavily on condition and rarity. Circulated coins are common and typically worth only face value. However, coins preserved in extremely high mint state grades, such as MS-67 or higher, are exceptionally scarce. Even the smallest contact mark, scratch, or dull surface can reduce a coin's grade dramatically. That means flawless examples are rare, and rarity is what drives value in the numismatic world. Collectors also search for possible error varieties. Off-center strikes, doubled dies, or planchet defects can instantly transform an ordinary penny into a highly desirable collectible. Error coins are fascinating because they are unintentional and limited in number. When collectors discover a dramatic mint mistake on a 1981 penny, demand can rise quickly. Another factor that makes the 1981 Lincoln cent special is its historical position. It represents the final chapter of the traditional copper penny era. After 1981, the mint faced rising copper prices and had to change the composition to reduce costs. So when you hold a 1981 penny, you are holding one of the last true copper cents ever produced for circulation in the United States. One extraordinary high-grade example of the 1981 Lincoln 1-cent penny has reached an estimated value of $145,000. That number surprises many people, because it is difficult to imagine a 1-cent coin being worth so much money. But in the world of rare coins, condition, scarcity, and demand create remarkable opportunities. If you own a 1981 Lincoln penny, take a closer look. Check the mint mark, examine the surfaces carefully under good lighting, and consider having it professionally graded if it appears flawless. Sometimes the smallest coin can carry the biggest surprise. The value of a rare, high-grade 1981 Lincoln 1-cent penny can reach $145,000. If you have this coin or any other rare pennies in your collection, comment below and tell us what you own so we can help you learn more about them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more rare coin stories, like this video, and share it with fellow collectors. Top 8. 1982 was a pivotal year for the Lincoln cent. The United States Mint faced rising copper prices, and that year marked the transition from the traditional 95% copper composition to the new copper-plated zinc pennies. Amidst this change, the 1982 Lincoln cent quietly entered circulation, making it one of the most interesting years for collectors. At first glance, it looks ordinary, but under the right conditions, this coin can be worth a fortune. The 1982 Lincoln penny continues the classic design by Victor David Brenner, featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, as it had since 1959, with intricate details, including the tiny seated Lincoln statue visible between the columns. Magnifying glass tilted right coin specifications. Country: United States of America. Year: 1982. Mint marks: Philadelphia, No mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S for proofs. Denomination: 1 cent. Composition: mostly copper, 95%, and later copper-plated zinc, 97.5% zinc, 2.5% copper. Weight: 3.11 grams, copper, / 2.5 grams, zinc, diameter, 19 millimeters. edge, plain millions of these pennies were minted, and most circulated coins are common and worth only face value. However, the rarity lies in high-grade uncirculated coins and exceptional error varieties, especially given the composition change that year. Coins that survived in perfect condition with original red color are extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. Gemstone condition and rarity. The true value comes from pristine condition. Coins graded MS67 red or higher are scarce, and top examples are even more limited due to circulation wear and the composition shift. Finding an uncirculated 1982 penny with flawless surfaces is extremely difficult, making these coins highly desirable in the collector market. Warning: error varieties. Some 1982 pennies also attract attention due to double die obverse or reverse off-center strikes, planchet defects, unusual composition variations, copper versus zinc. These rare varieties make certain 1982 pennies even more valuable. Trophy market value. While most 1982 pennies are worth only a few cents, a rare, flawless, high-grade example has reached an estimated value of $140,000. Collectors hunting for rare coins pay close attention to 1982 pennies because of the unique composition shift. If you own one, check the mint mark, condition, and composition carefully. Professional grading can dramatically increase its value. Even the smallest penny from 1982 can hide a huge secret. This coin proves that rarity, condition, and historical significance can turn a simple cent into a true collector's treasure. If you have this coin or any other rare pennies in your collection, comment below so we can provide detailed insights. Don't forget to like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel for more rare coin stories. Top 9. The 1983 Lincoln 1-cent penny may look like an everyday coin, but for collectors, it's a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. By this time, the United States Mint had fully transitioned to the new copper-plated zinc composition, making the 1983 pennies part of a significant era in U.S. coinage history. While millions were produced, only a small fraction survive in top condition, and that is what makes some examples incredibly valuable. The coin features the classic obverse portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, with delicate details including the tiny seated Lincoln statue between the columns, a hallmark of the design since 1959. Magnifying glass tilted right. Coin specifications. Country: United States of America. Year: 1983. Mint marks: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D; San Francisco, S for proofs. Denomination: 1 cent. Composition: copper-plated zinc, 97.5% zinc, 2.5% copper. Weight: 2.5 grams. Diameter: 19 millimeters. Edge: plain. Even though millions of 1983 pennies were struck, most circulated coins are common and worth only 1 cent. However, coins that remain uncirculated with full original red color, sharp strike, and flawless surfaces are exceedingly rare. Gemstone: why condition matters. The market for Lincoln cents is highly dependent on condition. Coins graded MS66, MS67 red or higher are extremely scarce, and the slightest imperfection can reduce the grade significantly. This is especially true for 1983 pennies because zinc is more prone to surface imperfections and corrosion than the older copper composition. Warning: error varieties. Some 1983 Lincoln cents are also notable for mint errors. Double die obverse or reverse off-center strikes, planchet defects, die cracks. Error coins attract collectors because they are unique and extremely limited in number, increasing their value exponentially. Trophy market value. While most 1983 pennies remain worth face value, a high grade, perfectly preserved example has achieved an estimated value of $135,000. This is a prime example of how rarity, condition, and historical significance can turn an ordinary penny into an extraordinary collectible. If you own a 1983 Lincoln 1-cent penny, inspect it closely for mint mark, condition, and any unusual characteristics. Professional grading may significantly enhance its value. Remember, even the smallest coin can hide a big secret. For those lucky enough to own a top-grade 1983 penny, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Comment below if you have this coin or other rare pennies in your collection. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more rare coin stories. Top 10. The 1985 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny may seem like an ordinary coin, but for collectors, it can be a rare gem worth a small fortune. Struck at the Denver Mint, this penny is part of the classic Lincoln Memorial series and comes from a period when millions were produced for circulation. While the vast majority of these coins remain common, a few rare high-grade specimens have drawn extraordinary attention. The obverse displays the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, created by Victor David Brenner. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, complete with the tiny seated Lincoln visible between the columns, a detail that makes these pennies so intricate and beloved by collectors. Magnifying glass tilted right coin specifications. Country: United States of America. Year: 1985. Mint mark: D, Denver. Denomination: 1 cent. Composition: copper-plated zinc, 97.5% zinc, 2.5% copper. Weight: 2.5 grams. Diameter: 19 millimeters. Edge: plain. Even though millions of 1985 D pennies were minted, most circulated examples are worth only 1 cent. The true value is found in rare, uncirculated coins that retain their original red color, sharp strike, and flawless surfaces. Gemstone condition drives value. High-grade examples of the 1985 D penny, graded MS66, MS67 red or higher, are extremely scarce. Copper-plated zinc pennies are more susceptible to discoloration, scratches, and surface wear, so coins that survive in pristine condition are highly prized by collectors. Warning: error varieties. Some 1985 D pennies are also notable for off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, or cuds. Exceptional proof-like surfaces. These errors can dramatically increase collector interest and market value. Trophy market value. While most 1985 D pennies remain worth only face value, a rare, high-grade example has reached a market value of $125,000. Collectors looking for rare Lincoln cents pay close attention to top-grade coins from this era. If you own a 1985 D penny, examine it carefully, check the mint mark, and consider professional grading to maximize its value. Even the smallest penny can carry a surprising secret. A single 1985 D Lincoln cent, preserved in perfect condition, could be worth far more than anyone would expect. If you have this coin or other rare pennies in your collection, comment below so we can help you identify and value them. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more rare coin stories.